Energy. Hit music only.
So welcome to the Energy Star Talk, G-Eazy. How are you?
I'm good. I just got into Berlin last night. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
First of all, before we start with the real interview, I've got a little questionnaire for you. So
Okay.
this is actually your first time here, so we get to know you a little better. Very easy questions. First one is your full name, please.
My full name is Gerald Gillum,
And
or G-Eazy, rather.
and whose idea? How long did it take to come up with G-Eazy for your artist name?
Yeah. Gerald, I'm named after my grandfather, and it's not a very common name in the States. I thought it was an old people name when I was a little kid, so I didn't like it. So I went by my initials, and G just, G turned into G-Eazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So your place of birth
I was actually born in Arizona. Yeah.
and three character traits how friends would describe you.
3 character traits how friends would describe me.
Yeah.
I would hope they would describe me with nice words, but maybe terrible words like, I don't know.
So how would you describe yourself? 3 character traits.
How would I
Yeah.
describe myself?
Then
Hardworking. Yeah, that's pretty much all I do is work.
yeah, the first record you bought.
The first record I bought was 400 Degrees by Juvenile.
Yeah, for me it was the Smurfs. So.
Yeah.
Really. The first concert you've been to.
The first concert I went to, like on my own, I was in high school. I believe I was a freshman, so I would have been like 13. It was Kanye West.
Oh, that's a cool one. Do you remember your first own show
My
that you
first,
played?
my first real show, I do remember. Yeah, and I was hella nervous. Like I didn't think I was gonna be able to go on stage. I was like throwing up all day. I had crazy stage fright. And then I remember the second my feet touched the stage, I was just like, I fell in love with the feeling. It was so intoxicating. It was such a rush that I never fell out of love with it.
And the biggest compliment you got so far for your music?
The biggest compliment I've ever
Yeah.
gotten so far.
For your music, yeah.
I don't know. I don't keep like a memory bank of that. Like I don't.
Hmm.
I don't
Next question. Do you have, you said you're really hardworking. Do you have talents or hobbies apart from the music?
Talents and hobbies aside from music.
Yeah.
No. I don't really do anything but this.
And coming from the,
Oh, I like to.
yeah.
I don't know how to cook at all, but I do know how to make one thing. I make waffles from scratch,
Ooh.
and they are very, very, very remarkable.
Yeah. So next time maybe you could bring some.
Yeah,
We would
or I'll
really
make them for you
look
here at the station.
Yeah.
You gotta make the batter right there on the spot. You gotta
Yeah.
whoop whoop. Benny.
And coming from the talents and hobbies to the bad habits, do you have any?
Yeah,
Can you tell?
I definitely have some bad habits.
You don't want to tell.
I cheat on my homework. Yeah, I like to drink poison. I enjoy whiskey a lot. Yeah.
So, when did it actually start? Did you start making music in the first place?
I started making music when I was like 13 or 14. Yeah. I fell in love with it and never fell out of love, and here we are today.
And when did it take off for you professionally? Do you?
It started to take off like probably 3 or 4 years ago, actually. But all throughout the years, it was never like I never thought about giving up or like I never fell out of love with it. It was just what I enjoy doing is making records.
And what would be your advice for young musicians to make it in the music business? I guess it's pretty hard.
Yeah, my advice to young people, aspiring to make it in music, quit now. Either that or stick with it forever, and you have a 1 in a million chance of it working out. But if you know, if you're not doing it because you're fascinated or in love with the idea of like making it necessarily, and you just love, to make music to you,
Yeah.
to you it's just something you enjoy doing, like, and it doesn't matter whether you're rich or not, then just keep going because that's what it's about. It's just doing it for the right reasons.
And did you ever had a plan B?
I never had a plan B. Yeah,
No, never?
I still don't have a plan B. Yeah, and I think that's the only way you really make it work is when you don't have anything to fall back on.
And is it true that you, when you were on tour with Drake, when you started, you had to fly back every show, every night to go back to university?
No, I didn't
Or
have
is
to go back every night. That would be expensive, and we weren't making anything. We were barely getting city to city. It was basically like a favor. Like we got like, if y'all can like make it to every show, you can open up or whatever. And but it was a big opportunity for me. And when you're young and coming up, like opportunity is all you dream of. So, we took it and ran, but I was still in school, and that was like, a big investment in itself. That's like, school is very expensive in the States, like whatever, so I didn't want to mess that up. And one of my teachers was like, if you miss one more class, you're going to fail, and I would have lost my scholarship. My GPA was very low. So I literally had to get off the tour and drive all the way back. Me and my manager split the drive. It was 22 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty hard, I guess.
Mhm.
How long did you sleep then during that time?
I slept half the time, yeah. And when I was driving, I remember I fell asleep at the wheel. So I pulled over to a gas station and just fell asleep. And then me and him both woke up, and he was like, "Where are we?" I was like, "Bro, I had to stop."
Yeah. And your current single, which is running, nearly every hour on our station, is Me, Myself, and I. Can you tell us a bit about that song and what does it mean to you personally?
Yeah, this is a real personal song. It was just where my head's at right now. Kind of starting to learn to deal with this like duality of fame and success and what comes with that. Both the blessings and, sometimes the negative side of it. And just learning to navigate this life, but also knowing that, you always have yourself and finding confidence in yourself and loving yourself and just like, being positive.
Mm. And you're working with that record, on that record with BB Rexa. How did you come up with her? Because she's featuring and she's writing a lot for other artists, featuring a lot on other songs. How did you two meet?
She's very, very talented. So we got linked through a mutual friend, and I was really excited to work with her. You know what I mean? I think like special people motivate each other. You know what I'm saying? To make better work. So yeah, I was hella excited to just get in the studio with her, and she was actually that good. Like she was indeed like as talented as you would imagine. Like she's incredible.
And the album is called When It's Dark Out. It's out already. For those who haven't listened to it yet, how would you describe the core of it?
The core of it is me, my personality, or my multiple personalities for that matter. I'm a Gemini, so you always get different layers of Gerald. You're getting, me, it's like, sometimes I'm wild and crazy and, like to party. Sometimes I'm in my head, you know what I mean? More introspective music. The general mood of the album, I guess, is a little darker, hence the name.
And when you think about the album, what are you the most proud of? Not necessarily a song or just maybe something in making or...
I'm definitely proud of Me, Myself, and I and everything that that's doing around the world. That's like phenomenal. It's more than I could have dreamed of. But I would say the record, Everything Will Be Okay, is very personal. And then the album as a whole, we didn't have much time to do it. I just didn't take any days off. We really made the album. I was in the studio for about 6 months and had to get it done in that whole time. And albums are kind of like, climbing a mountain or like, a voyage like, across, 1,000,000 miles of land or something like that by foot. Like, it's like, it's a long process. So, finishing the whole thing in that time, and for it to be as successful as it is, that's, a good feeling.
What is more important for you, touring or recording in the studio? What doesn't mean more to you?
You definitely, you can't have one without the other. I don't know what's better, getting paid or getting laid. I just know when I'm getting one, the other's getting away. So that's it.
And are you coming on to Germany on tour soon?
I am. Yeah, I'm coming to Germany in May. I'm excited, to come back here and perform.
Is it actually the first time here in Germany for you to be on tour, or?
No, I've been a couple times. Yeah. But it's gotten bigger every time and crazier every time. So I know this trip is gonna be like wild.
So, and did you learn some German words so far?
Not really. Danke. That's all I know.
And the German food, is it as good as people say?
Yeah, like the beer and sausages. Yeah. I went to a spot. It was very good. It's as good as people say. Mm.
And how surreal is it?
The sauerkraut and the Bockwursts and the Bratwursts and yeah,
it's a German word as well.
Yeah.
So how weird is it for you, or how surreal is it for you to travel with your music from a scale from 1 to 10?
Oh man, 100. It's very surreal, because for so long, like, I've dreamed of doing stuff like this, but my reality was, even people in my own city didn't know who I was, and I felt like even that, would be like a huge accomplishment if people even locally or then regionally like would know about my music, and that would be a dream. And then to to start people all over the states finding out about it, and then but now to be able to travel the world and have people know, because for so long they didn't, and I wanted this for so long, so it's blessings for real. I'm very grateful.
And is it true that you're taking your mom on tour with you sometimes?
I would never fully take her on tour. I think I would probably go crazy. But yeah, it's here and there. I fly her to shows that she wants to come to. My mom is like my homie. We're real tight. I don't think I could be with her every day. I don't think anybody could be with their moms that much. But yeah, it's real cool, like, getting to fly her places, because she loves to travel, you know what I mean? But like, we couldn't really afford to. But she would always tell me about these places she had been, like when she was younger. She had gone to Europe before, and she had been to Berlin, and she'd tell me about it. She'd tell me about Paris. She'd tell me about London, and like, all these stories, you know what I mean, from like years and years and years ago. So now to be able to just casually bring her places, that's like the dream.
And when you're on tour, what's the thing that you miss most?
When I'm on tour, the thing I miss most probably is it's the studio. Yeah. And when I'm in the studio, I miss the road. It's like literally like I said, you can't have one without the other. But, the grass is always greener thing. Like, when I'm on the road, it's so crazy. I just miss, the calm of the studio, the routine of waking up in the same bed, going to the same studio, like, every day, like, being in the same city. And then when I'm in that space, I get restless. I want to, the adventure of the road, a different city every day, but,
Yeah, so thanks for the interview, and hopefully seeing you soon in May then.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
Thank you.
Energy. Hit music only.